You'll ask for approval of agenda as amended.
Yeah, oh, okay. So tell me when I can keep going.
Just give me 1 second. It's just loading onto YouTube.
Thank you. Oh, it's nice to know I'm a YouTube
You'll
star.
ask for, yeah, I'm in my meeting. What do you want?
And you're live. Go
Thank
ahead.
you very much. All right. Now, do I approve the agenda as is and then make an amendment, or do I say I want to amend the agenda and then?
Make the amendment first, and then we'll approve it as amended.
Okay. All right. The amendment to the agenda is to discuss the request from the Creemore, the Village Green group that wants to put a sign honoring donors on the outside of the building, and the place, if I read it correctly, and I did send it to everyone, it's on the outside wall that is right at the washroom. So basically it's behind where the porta potties are now, is the way I interpreted where it was. But anyway, they want to attach it to our the station building. And if you read Anthony's not coming, he already commented on it, but again, it doesn't count because he's not here to vote. But anyway, so may I have an approval of the agenda to include that, please, there, you know, to discuss that, and then we can approve the agenda. So approval of the amended agenda, all in favor?
Okay, well, it's only have to have a mover and seconder and then call for the vote.
Oh, mover and seconder. Who's the mover?
I'll move it.
Who's
I'll second.
seconding? All right, Brian, all in favor? All right, carried. Thank you very much. Did any pecuniary interest you would like to disclose? None, thank you. Approval of minutes of the November 26th meeting.
Mover.
Moved by Barry, seconder. Brian, favor, all in favor of approving the minutes? And carried. All right, now business arising from the minutes. Now, I was talking to Jeremy yesterday, and he was going to send on, because he's the one who was looking into the main entryway quotes and also giving us an update on the pumps. He did send some information, I believe, on to Kayla, but again, we haven't received it yet. So let me tell you what I know. He has talked to the people like Sherlock, the people who came and looked at our door and said, and that the lock is working and everything. And he's requested quotes from Sherlock for a new entry and how much it would cost. And he's requested from somebody that they suggested. And basically he's had no response. So he is going to continue to look into it, but he will be looking into it with other places. And it will be the kind of door that, like what we have now is a residential door. So it'll be the kind of door that would be for a public building. That's what he's going to look into. And that's as much as I know there. And then the pumps update, believe it or not, the pumps are sold. And they sold well. Brian, do you remember the amount that they sold, everything sold for?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
I think it was in the $500 range or something. Anyway, it actually sold for more than what was being asked. There was an ad put in the Creemore Echo, and then there was a response immediately. And this gentleman wanted it, and it was, I think it came in cash because Jeremy and Brian had to work that out. It came as cash because the gentleman was buying it. He didn't want his wife to know that he was buying all of this because I think he's trying to surprise her with something, like, you know, some sort of a thing with maybe a fountain in a pond or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, so
I hope she did, when she said she wanted new pumps, she was meaning shoes.
Yeah.
Cute, very cute. And so it was done. It's done. The stuff is all gone. So we've got a little space there. So that was good news. And again, thank you very much to Jeremy. I thanked him for looking into this.
Yeah.
And actually, we may have to rethink our meeting days because right now, Jeremy is working or helping a friend with horses, but it's 2 days a week and it's on Thursdays and Fridays. If we keep the meet, I'm going to ask Jeremy how long this will continue. If it's going to continue for a very long time, then we may have to rejig when we meet, just so that he can come to meetings. But we'll see what happens there. Now, our next thing is just what we were discussing. Comments, please, on the request by the Village Green Group, and it was sent to us by Stuart Lazier, on putting a, I don't know what you would call it.
The donor wall
Thank
or
you, donor
plaque.
wall, donor something up to recognize the people who are donating to the Village Green. Comments? And
Is
you
there-
all read Anthony's, by the way. Yes?
There already is one as you walk in through the doors, is there not? The initial one?
Well, that one, when you walk in through the door, that's actually a tree committee one.
Oh,
And then there's, and on the outside of the station on the Caroline Street sign, you know, that great big thing that's sitting there, it is for people who have donated to the station. So that's the station donors. But this would be for people who are donating to the Village Green, this whole other new thing,
Which is outside.
which is, and it would be,
I don't have a problem because there's no doubt it'll be done with some sort of class is the word to say. I'm sure it'll be done professionally. And I don't particularly have a problem with it being on the outside wall.
is it a huge number of donors? Like,
I don't know. Nobody has said how many people have donated or anything like that, so we have no idea.
hmm.
Pear, do you have any comment, thoughts on this?
I do.
Yes?
If I,
Excuse me.
by saying, if I could start by saying that if we entertain this idea, we need to confer with the legal department of the township, because you are now taking an object and attaching it to the property belonging to the township. And therefore, it's my belief that the legal department of the township should rule on what the requirements would be, such as liability reasons, such as methods of attachment, maintenance thereof, etc. That's a legal problem. From another perspective, from an optical problem, I view this as misleading to the public by placing a sign on the station denoting sponsors or donators. For those people that come to look at the Village Green, they will look at that list and say, oh, these people donated and did this, which would then include the station on the green because the sign is attached to it. This would also be a disservice to all the people who have previously donated to the station to see to its creation by having their names emblazoned on plates inside the building. Many would not see that from the outside.
I'm sorry, what, I don't understand what you mean by that. I'm sorry, inside the building is a tree committee plaque. It's not a
Was that-
station donor plaque.
For the tree committee, that's not for people who donated to the station.
I don't, unless I'm totally confused, because there's that big, what is that big sign outside on Caroline Street in that area? What does it look like? It's a train. It's a
Train,
big train, and that to me is those are the donors to the station. The
Well-
other carved, beautiful carved, that was carved by Shane Durnford, and I think it was people who donated to the tree committee years and years ago.
In any case, take that part away, to have that sign erected on the station building itself, in my opinion, is not the right optics. It's deceiving. And it could be, if I could use the word, self-serving. That's my comment on the matter.
Brian?
If
Brian, do you have a comment on this?
Yeah, I just wondered if Pear was finished.
Yeah, I'm finished.
Yeah, my feelings are similar to Pear's. My first thought when I read it is that they are constructing, I believe, 2 other buildings and a stage in that area, and the sign could be affixed to one of those buildings, which would place it right in that area, so there would be no confusion as to what people had been donating to, or a freestanding sign somewhere in that area. Because I think my thoughts are similar to Pear's. When I read it, I thought, well, they're just, now taking over the station as well and including it in the whole thing. But I guess at the end of the day, I mean, that whole area is all going to be one large area. My understanding is that it's going to be turned over to the township at some point in the future. We're talking.
Excuse me, I have to take this phone call. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Put it on speakerphone.
It could be a couple of years, but we'll go over to the township and that whole area will become one large area. So at the end of the day, probably doesn't matter. But I do agree that if we do put it on the station wall, we need some kind of agreement that says that if there's damage to the sign or graffiti or anything, that they will repair it, restore it right away, that we're not left with an eyesore on the wall of the station, or we're not left with having to pay the cost of fixing it ourselves. We need to have that made clear.
Well, the way that I mean, I totally get where Pear and Brian are coming from, and I mean, I could be swung either way. Like, to me, initially, I didn't think it was that much of an issue, but when you start talking about it, I could certainly see your point. And so the thing would be that we make a decision whether we say yes or we say no. And if we say no, then it becomes their problem to deal with. And if we say no, then we don't have to deal with the township or legal issues or anything like that. So that all said, I'll wait and hear what Tom has to say, and then I'd be willing to put forth a motion.
Tom?
I'm not exactly sure who the donors are or what the donors are for. It's not for the station itself. It's for
No,
the
it's
whole.
for the Village Green, the park area.
Well, then maybe it shouldn't go on the station on the green. Somewhere else, like some sort of a plaque outside, somewhat like the train, but maybe in a different place.
So I'd like to put forth a motion, if I may, Madam Chair.
Yes, you may.
So I'd like to put forth a motion that we send a letter to the Village Green Association advising them that we do not want the sign, respectfully do not want the donor sign attached to station on the green, and feel that it should be attached to a structure within the Village Green area.
I agree with that.
Me too.
So does that mean you just seconded my motion, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll wait for Madam Chair to call the vote.
I'm still trying to get the whole thing down because you said written. All right, all in favor of the motion, please. Carried. And when you say a letter, may I just send an email?
That's fine. That's fine.
And what you said is we do not want the donor sign attached to the station building. Basically, I think that's all we have to say, because then do we really have to go on and say and we feel or we feel the sign or the donor recognition should be in the park itself.
Yes.
I think you should give that reasoning.
Yeah, I think so, too. Just we feel it's more appropriate for the donor sign to be in somewhere within the vicinity of the park area.
And you don't want the building, plastered with various things. Could go on forever.
Well, and that's it, because then you start opening a door for other people and other organizations that want to start putting plaques on the, we go through this one is putting flags on the, when we start putting flags up on the municipal properties, that one group, and the next thing, every group wants to have their flag flown, and it just becomes,
So what
probably the wise decision is not.
My second sentence is the donor recognition sign should be in the village green,
Within the
within the village green. I will send that on to Stuart, and there's our answer. And truthfully,
Right.
Unless, we do have to have a financial report, Brian.
Okay. Clearview Community Church is up to date now with their rental payments. I just cashed a check for $3,941.65 in the account. Our balance as of today is, I believe, I do not have November's bank statement yet. It might come today, I don't know. But I'm pretty positive our balance is $13,632.97. So we've got a healthy bank balance. We've just received $790.22 from EPCOR versus our cost for electricity, $98.37. So our cost is under 100, and we're collecting almost 800 from the solar panels. I did get a readout for November, and it said we had 0 output in November. I forwarded that to Jeff Williams to have him check that. We may be having trouble with the router again. I'm not sure. We do not lose that. If it's a router problem, once it corrects it, it just updates everything, and the electricity that was produced in November will be captured and recorded. We will get credit for that. But I'm waiting to hear back from Jeff as to what that was. My first thought was, well, we had snow on the panels, but I don't think we had snow on all month. So I think it's probably the router again, cutting in and out. And the last meeting, you left it up to my discretion to pay Debbie Hill. She was quite happy with the check I gave her. I think she's down in Tahiti now. So what I did was 4 weeks at $30 a week. Plus, she did do 2.5 hours of cleaning after the church service was in there twice. So there was twice she went in, and $20 an hour for that. And then the monthly insurance is $78.75. So I gave her a check for $248.75 for the month of November.
And I'll just on Debbie, I just checked with her, and everything is good, and she's going into the station Wednesdays and Sundays. Those are the 2 days she's going in for checking.
Good.
Any comments, questions? Brian, anything for Brian? Other than that we seem to be stable?
Well, I'd like to thank Brian for all of his efforts with the solar panels. That's a great income potential that we have there. Thanks, Brian.
It is. Thank you. Yes, it is. And
Well,
anything else on building, landscaping, anything exciting going on?
Yeah, we have some big project going on just to the west. I don't know what it is.
Oh, really? Aren't you good? And remember what I said, our next meeting right now is scheduled for Thursday, January 21st at 9 a.m., which is fine for most of us, but I'm thinking that we won't have Jeremy again. Maybe I'll talk to him and ask him how long helping with these horses will be going on, because it would be sad if he's going to be missing virtually every meeting. And as you can see, we have trouble just getting 5.
Is he
So
gone all day?
that's what I'm gonna have to check and see if we could do something later in the day, or if
Or
we could,
earlier?
excuse me,
Yeah.
excuse
6
me,
o'clock.
Five,
Could all make
excuse
it.
me.
I hear 5. Oh,
Yes,
could I, maybe this should have come under financial or business arising.
yes,
I noticed in, I think it was last week's Echo, they had the special Christmas edition.
yes.
And it's an opportunity for businesses and other groups to put in a Christmas greeting to Creemore. I did not see anything from the station.
No,
And I was wondering whether we should be doing something like that or not.
Well, I don't think we need to spend the money to do that, do we? Do we need to run an ad?
Yeah, it would be a goodwill gesture for the community. Other than that, yeah, I don't know how much it would cost either. So, I mean,
well,
on
it'd
the
be
one, we
something,
don't need to spend the money. That's true.
it'd be
but on the
something
other-
to look into for next year if we think it would be a good idea, if we remember to think about it.
Yeah,
And we could look into it and see how we're doing, but I don't know.
but since we're not open and doing anything, maybe it's just as well we don't.
Yeah, that's.
So the only thing we're
that's
doing right
keeping
now
Don's
is
eye, Brian. You know,
we're providing electricity for the Christmas tree and for those design, those
Yeah.
decorations outside the station. That's about the only thing we're doing right now. It's providing electricity.
Linda,
Mm-hmm.
I took a walk around the building earlier this year, and I think one of the maintenance items that is going to come up shortly will be painting the exterior, all the wood surfaces, because they seem to be beginning to not rot, but the paint is peeling off. And if we don't maintain it, we could have a much larger issue at hand down the road.
Could that be listed and put on, say, the next agenda?
Yeah. That would be a good idea, because then we can spend January, February, March getting quotes. So when
Yeah.
the spring weather comes, we're ready to rock and roll.
And see who's willing to take on getting the quotes,
Yeah.
which would be another thing. So we should try to get that on the agenda for next time. I better write this down. Exterior painting required.
I guess we won't be doing it.
Nope.
Oh, why not?
Well,
Hey, listen, I've helped paint the inside. I've helped clean all of this stuff. And we even did some painting outside around where the garbage cans are. We did a lot of painting.
Lana
sir.
and I did that.
Yes, well, I did too, with some of it with Lana, but yes, you
Oh.
and Lana did a lot of it. I know. And we did that.
So the peeling, is that like the window encasements and the soffits and stuff like that, Per?
Well, I was mainly looking at the board and batten situation,
Ah,
the surrounds, but I mean, a thorough review would have to be done. I'd be happy to do that if we want to. I could do it together with you if you like, but just have a walk around and see what could be coming up and what should be done to prevent major restoration later. Better to paint a bit and just maintain it.
Absolutely.
Could you gentlemen take that on and do that before our next meeting and do the walk around and note what you feel needs to be painted? So then we would have an idea when we put it, because it's going to be put on the agenda for the January meeting. And then we will have some idea of what needs to be painted, and then we can start looking into cost. Is this all
Yep.
agreeable?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else that anybody feels we should be discussing today? Boy, this is probably the shortest meeting on record.
That's good.
I'm glad you're
That's not
happy,
a bad
Tom.
thing. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going golfing, so.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, there are golf courses that
Why
are
not?
open in the winter time.
Yeah, they're all in Florida, but
No,
Yeah.
no. There are some where they're golfing on the snow.
Now
I
there's
heard this
simulator
on
golfing.
TV.
Yeah.
They're doing this.
How would you ever find your ball if you're,
Oh, you're not supposed to use a white ball, definitely.
yeah, I guess not.
Since we're kibitzing around, I don't know, did you guys see that video of the older gentleman walking a little Shih Tzu or something next to a pond in the golf course? A small gator grabbed the dog, pulled it underwater, and the gentleman jumped in, grabbed the alligator, and wrestled the dog out of its mouth and saved the dog.
I
Wow.
did. I saw that. Oh, I saw that. It was on TV. Oh, my gosh.
Don't bring it.
he's got a nice new pair of golf shoes too, I hear.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, is there anything else, any new business, anything we should be talking about? When I leave this meeting, I'm going to immediately respond to Stuart Lazier about what our decision was. And I'm just going to say, basically, the vote was not to put the donor sign. We do not wish the donor sign for the village green to be attached to the station building. We feel their donor recognition sign should be within the village green itself.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All
That sounds,
right.
Don't forget, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to
Yes.
everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Hope Santa's good for everybody. Merry Christmas.
yeah,
Oh,
Merry
Sa-
Christmas
Sa-
all.
Santa will be good when we can all get vaccinated and start walking around and doing things normally again.
Yeah.
And I just want to say it's been a great year. It's been a pleasure working with all of you, and look forward to working together with you guys next year as well.
Thank you.
Well, it's
Thank
nice
you
getting
all.
together. It's nice getting together. That's whether it's Zooming or not.
Yes, it is.
Well,
I
everyone.
can't wait to get together in person.
Yeah.
That'll
I'm
be a
really looking
while.
forward to that.
That'll be a while.
All right. Thank you
Fair.
very much. Thank you, everybody. The meeting is now officially adjourned at 9:28. How's that
Very
for the
good.
fastest meeting on
Perfect.
record?
That's
Wow.
very good.
Pear,
Thank you.
Pear, do you have my email?
I
Do you
do.
have my email?
I do.
Could you just tell me when you're going to go and have a look around?
Sure, will do.
Yep.
And
That would
sorry,
be good.
just to double check, you did get a mover for adjourning?
Oh, who would like to move to adjourn the
I move
meeting?
we adjourn.
Seconder?
I'll
Don't leave
second.
us out.
Fair. All in favor, we're done. Oh, and did you get that information about the fact that we want the exterior painting possibility on the next agenda? So we're good there?